Hi, my name is David Rosh, and this is my presentation for the Foursquare Company. This is a training session for hiring managers, specifically about hiring. The needs assessment techniques that I'll be using are role-playing, online technology, and group work. The organizational analysis, we want to grow our business by producing the best staff around from the top to the bottom of the company. The best way to do this is to provide the best training and development programs. Person analysis, we want people to be able to be efficient with their time, decisive, responsive, prepared, have the ability to set reasonable expectations and goals, provide feedback, be encouraging, will reinforce the rules if they must, read at a college level and above, great interpersonal skills, and have knowledge of discrimination laws and cultural awareness training. Task analysis, the employee will need to be able to perform panel interviews, take charge in an interview if needed, be confident in their decisions, show leadership qualities, and provide good feedback. The design, which is the meat of our program, the purpose and goals of training, is to help incoming managers to better understand our hiring practices and the laws and how to abide by them. Also to become better, more confident interviewers, and with a strong sense that we are all on the same team. The total training time should be about 3 days. The first day is going to cover laws and sensitivity training and things like that. Next day will be a day strictly for panel interviews and discussing what panel interviews actually are. And our final training day is going to be a ropes course so we can build some teamwork. Methods of delivery, like I said, we're going to be doing panel interviews, we're going to use PowerPoints, handouts, role-playing. There's going to be an online quiz of 12 questions. All the PowerPoints and videos and the quiz will be housed within our company YouTube page as well. 8 participants per session. We're going to need Wi-Fi, classroom, and like I said, a team building exercise at a ropes course for that last day. Myself and 3 other managers will be a part of this training. All of us have been part of multiple interviews and have went through the similar training. Resources needed: 12 notepads, 1 for everybody, 16 pens just in case if you run out of ink or whatever, 9 laptops, lesson plans, some handouts, 12 lunches for everybody, and we also need to get access to the book Global Dexterity, which we'll talk more about during our cultural knowledge section. The Foursquare company vision and mission statements are as follows. The vision statement is to become a world leader in bringing health and wellness to everyone. Mission is to improve the health, well-being, and quality of life of everyone worldwide by empowering people to promote and display positive attitudes and behaviors through a lifelong commitment to wellness. On the first day, like I said, we're going to be discussing discrimination laws, regulations, policy guidance, fact sheets, Q&As, best practices, and types of discrimination. We're going to be using the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission website. We're also going to be discussing barriers to the Equal Opportunity Commission. They're identified right here. There are some barriers for recruiting, which is going to be a huge part of our hiring managers' jobs. So they will need to be familiar with these. Next step is to develop some cultural knowledge. This is how to act during cultural situations that make them uncomfortable, and the invisible and subtle differences between people of different cultures. Again, we're going to be using the book Global Dexterity by Andrew Molinsky. It will be broken down in a PowerPoint presentation. The U.S. Department of State actually has an extensive list of cross-cultural training and consulting companies for organizations that offer the service of going through and helping companies with this. It's very important because the workforce has become a very diverse place, and workplaces need to follow suit. Businesses no longer business is no longer just done on a local level. It's done globally. Even though some countries may speak the same language, this doesn't mean that they abide by the same cultural principles. In some countries, or in some cultures, it's considered rude to look a person in the eye when you speak to them. In the United States, it's considered rude to do the opposite. We're also going to get into sensitivity training, another huge important part of being a manager. Sensitivity training is about making people understand about themselves and others reasonably, which is done by developing them social sensitivity and behavioral flexibility. Social sensitivity is, in one word, is empathy. It's the ability of an individual to sense what others feel and think from their own point of view. Behavioral flexibility is the ability to behave suitably in light of understanding. While the emphasis, styles, and specific goals of the multitude of sensitivity training programs vary, there does seem to be some consensus as to the general goals. These include increased understanding, insight, and self-awareness about one's own behavior and its impact on others, including the ways in which others interpret one's behavior. 2, increased understanding and sensitivity about the behavior of others, including better interpretation of both verbal and nonverbal cues, which increase awareness and understanding of what the other person is thinking and feeling. 3 is a better understanding and awareness of a group and intergroup processes, both those that facilitate and those that inhibit group functioning. Increased diagnostic skills in interpersonal and intergroup situations. Also, the increased ability to transform learning into action so that real-life interventions will be more successful in increasing member effectiveness, satisfaction, output, and effectiveness. The improvement in individuals' ability to analyze their own interpersonal behavior, as well as to learn to help themselves and others with whom they come in contact to achieve more satisfying, rewarding, and effective interpersonal relationships. This is day 2, how to conduct panel interview. A discussion will be held going over the different interview approaches of behavioral, competency-based, and situational interviews. There will be an overview of what's expected from the different roles within the panel and the format that will be used. The appointed will be a chairperson to lead the interview. This person will decide who asks what questions, or if they ask any questions at all. And if they don't, they concentrate on taking formal notes. Behavioral interview, traditional technique that assesses a candidate's sustained suitability for the position by reviewing experience, personal attributes, and skills in relation to the job specification. Competency-based interview focuses specifically on skills needed for the position, which compromise the criteria against which the candidate is measured. The candidate's skills are discussed and reviewed against the core competencies required for the position. And finally, situational interview examines how candidates would react in a specified job situation. This approach is sometimes based around multiple choice answers to set questions. This interview style has been criticized as candidates may simply attempt to identify the right answer rather than supply an honest appraisal of their personal opinions and experiences. Role playing. We're actually going to be conducting panel interviews. Participants will be given a script that has the questions and also what roles they will play. There will be one interviewee and 4 interviewers for each interview, while the other 3 participants will observe and take notes. Everyone will get a chance to play all roles within the interviewer part and interviewee. We're doing this to build confidence in the ability to conduct the interview, give them an opportunity to perform them multiple times, and the opportunity to learn on how to build onto another's question and to distinguish the differences between the common interview approaches, behavioral, competency-based, and situational. We're going to have the room set up basically like you would in an interview. Materials, same as before. The evaluation method would be a short 12-question quiz. By putting the trainees in an environment and situation that they will see down the road, it gives them the experience and confidence to handle it. During the interviews, each trainee will be a part of the panel as well as one being interviewed. Since everyone got here by going through a panel interview, it ought to make things a little more challenging for the interviewers. The person being interviewed doesn't have a script to go by. The interviewers will have questions that myself and the managers came up with. This is a breakdown of the panel interview day, introduction, discussion, and also what the instructor and the trainee will be doing at that point in time. So we have a quiz at the end, and that's from the 2 days with all the laws and all the panel interview stuff. Quiz, like I said, 12 questions. Ropes course, again, it was customized for hands-on learning experience that provide the opportunity to build and enhance important life skills like communication, leadership, problem solving, goal setting, etc. that can be transferred to the workplace. The program is focused on self-efficacy of individuals and the ability of the group members to support each other through challenges to achieve success. The evaluation method, I